Hello everyone, Fuzzfinger here, and a big welcome back to our Planet Coaster project, where we are attempting to recreate the one and only Caernarfon Castle, located in North Wales, a place my family used to go on holiday quite frequently as I was growing up. So this project certainly invoked feelings of nostalgia for me, and fond memories as well, and I hope you are enjoying the time-lapse video as I put in several hours of work in order to get this castle built. So things are going to be moving a little bit faster than even the first episode, because there's a lot more footage to get through here today. So I have just sped up that time lapse to, I think it's 27 normal speed. So hopefully we should get a lot done. I do actually get the main structure finished in this episode, and it's up to you guys whether you really want me to carry on and decorate the place a bit, try and get some maybe even of the town buildings built around the castle. But to be honest, the castle was my main project, so I'm quite happy that I've managed to actually stick at this and get it finished. And I'm just pleased that Planet Coaster gives us this ability to really make these kinds of structures. And although we don't have a lot of theming available to us and a lot of building items available to us, we do have a decent amount, and it's quite impressive what you can do with the tools that are currently available. But of course, as the alpha progresses with the game, we should get even more options available to us, and we should be able to make even more impressive structures than what I am doing here now. So we're just coming to the section where we are building the Queen's entrance to the castle. On the actual castle that's there in Caernarfon, you cannot enter through this entrance, it is blocked off, but there is a kind of strange walkway poking through, I guess, if you want to just come out and admire the town views. So I will put that path through a little bit later. If things look a little bit strange and a little bit weird when I do things like that, it is just because I'm trying to represent the actual castle as best as I can. So where things occur in real life, I will try and simulate them as to the best of my ability here in the game as well. One of the biggest challenges, I think, in making these kinds of structures in Planet Coaster is the lack of ability to really select multiple buildings and items at once. So although this is really going to be one structure, it's actually made up really of hundreds of different individual buildings, and you cannot select multiple buildings. I'm not talking about individual pieces, I'm talking about groups of pieces that together make a building. You can select the groups of pieces but not the buildings, and when you want to duplicate the buildings, you really have to duplicate the pieces, which is a little bit frustrating, and it's probably at least double the amount of time it's taken for me to make this structure. So hopefully as the alpha progresses and the game gets closer to release, we will have some more quality of life improvements that will really just help to speed up these kinds of processes. So there's that path poking through that I was telling you about earlier. I know it might look out of place, but as I said, it does exist in the real castle. It looks a little bit better than this, of course, but that's just the tools that I have available to me, and I didn't want to not include it. So I'm just going to try and improve this archway a little bit, make things look a little bit more realistic so that the pieces flow together nicer. And I will be continuing to make the castle actually usable for the peeps in the game, so that if I do go ahead and actually turn this into a theme park, and I'll probably have the castle as the centre point and I'll actually build any rides in it, but if I build rides around it, then I would like the peeps to actually walk around the castle. That would be good for screenshots and whatnot. So I do want to include these paths and what have you around the walls and stuff, for the sake of functionality as well as the actual design. And you might be thinking, why am I building a roof down here on the floor? And I did so on the other side as well. The actual reason for that is, if you look at the real castle and if you visit the real castle, it does have these kinds of stone angled supports that kind of keep the wall stable. So this was really the only angled object in the game that I could use as part of the building tools in order to create a similar effect. So hopefully it doesn't look too out of place being a roof, but it should also be more accurate to the actual real life structure. Something else that is a little bit fiddly is trying to path through the actual buildings. It would actually be really helpful, and this is a little bit more feedback for Frontier, if we could have just an easy toggle to disable the scenery so that we could just hide all these walls and then actually see what we're doing with our pathing. I believe that was actually an option in the previous Roller Coaster Tycoon games, so I would expect to see it in Planet Coaster at some point in the future, but it's just something that, while I remember, it's nice to mention, I guess. So this tower here that we're throwing up is a little bit of a different shape to the other towers, so that's really on purpose. That is just, again, matching up to the actual castle in real life, and we're getting a good way through this now. We've only got 1 or 2 more towers, I think, to do, and then the structure will be complete. What I'm probably going to do as well, what I will do in fact, is just upload the save game so that you guys who are also playing the Planet Coaster Early Bird Alpha can download it and either make improvements to this structure if you feel that's necessary. That's absolutely fine as far as I'm concerned. The better this thing looks, the happier I'll be. Or you can use it if you want to just include it as part of your sandbox park or whatever the case may be. So yeah, check the video description for a link to that save file. I'll post that up on my website for your convenience. One of the things that surprised me actually, because when I went into this I expected it to get quite boring building this kind of structure, but it never did, and it actually became quite therapeutic. I'd load up a session thinking, you know, I'd throw a couple of towers up or something, and without even knowing it, 30-40 minutes had passed and I hadn't actually made that much progress, but I didn't even realise how much time had gone. So it is quite a challenge, but it's also, I guess, a bit like building a Lego set or a model or something. It's a very similar experience. But one of the great things about this game is that you have these tremendous tools at your disposal, these very powerful tools for piece by piece building and custom buildings, but you don't have to use them. If you just want to, you know, slap a few rides down and watch the families come in and have fun on those, then you can just do that. But having this option to really just spend and dedicate a lot of time to getting things how you want them to get is a great choice that Frontier have given us that we can make when we actually build our parks. And I haven't even thought about putting a ride down at this point, or you know, opening for the people to come in and experience this castle. I've really just, of course, focused on the structure itself, but it just shows how powerful this game is and the kinds of experiences that you can have with it, the different kinds of experiences that you can use it for. Sadly, I did mess the angles up a little bit at this point, and when you compare the picture of this recreation against the real castle and study them carefully, you are going to notice that things aren't exactly as they should be. But again, it all just comes down to how much time investment I wanted to put into this, and it would have taken a lot of extra time on top of the time I'd already put into in order to make those kinds of corrections. So in the end, I think I chose the path of just, yeah, it's not going to be exactly 100% accurate, but at least I'll be able to actually finish the job and have something that quite strongly, in my opinion, does resemble Caernarfon Castle. So I was quite happy with the result. But yeah, some of these angles aren't as I would choose for them to be if I was doing this again. And that's partly a limitation of the game and the way that the selecting building pieces works, but it's also my own fault as well, just not concentrating on those angles as much as I should have been. Yes, it can be a little bit tricky, but I could have done an even better job than what we're seeing now. And don't get me wrong, I am very happy with what I've done here, but you know, it's by no means a definitive version of the castle in Planet Coaster. We certainly could see some more accurate representations of it in the future going forward from other YouTubers and other people that play the game. So we're getting to this final tower now, and this actually has 3 individual towers built on top of it rather than the usual one which we've been seeing throughout the rest of the castle. So I did just have to bear that in mind when I made the tower a little bit wider so that we can accommodate those final 3 spires that will take their places on here. Now, One of the things I just couldn't do was build paths up the tower. Some of the towers on the real castle, visitors can actually climb in order to look over from the highest points, but there's just no way to really accommodate paths in the structures in these towers because of their size. They would all be poking out the sides and everything. So again, I took the lesser of two evils in that decision, and just not including them at all, and hopefully that will work out for the better. One of the things I really do enjoy, or rather not enjoy but like in this game, is the lighting effects. I think they work really well, especially through the day-night cycles. I have tried to keep this mostly in the day cycle just because it would help me see more, I guess, as I'm actually building. At times I did forget to pause the simulation. I did have to go through those night cycles, but I didn't really mind too much because, as I say, the lighting is just perfect. So we're just getting very close to the end now, and I'm just going to pop a few more of the scenery items onto the sides of the walls. Again, I'm going to be using those iron scaffolding pieces, which are not visible from the inside, so hopefully they add to the immersion rather than break it. If you look at the real castle from a distance, you will see very, very narrow and dark windows, so this is the best substitute I could find for those in-game. The actual castle in real life also has two flags protruding from the 2 of 3 towers that are situated on top of this final large tower here. Sadly, there are no Welsh flags in the game, so hopefully my Welsh friends won't hate me if I replace those for the only available substitute at the moment, which are the Union Jacks from the pirate theme. Of course, I'm happy to get those changed if Frontier do put the Welsh flag into the game in the future. So we're just about coming to the end here. I'll slow the time lapse down now. I'm just going to add a couple of final touches. There's still a lot more that I could do here, but I am going to be taking a break from this for a short while now, while I get some composure back, and hopefully when I shut my eyes I won't keep seeing castles, which is what's happening at the moment. But what I'll probably show you now is some before, well, not before and after pictures, but the real castle in comparison to my castle, and you can see where things have worked and also where things haven't really worked as much as I would have liked them to. But overall, seeing as it's the first time I've ever done anything like this, I've never really used the building tools in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 or in Planet Coaster to any serious degree before this. So as a first attempt at trying to do something serious, I'm quite impressed with the result. But by all means, please let me know what you guys think as well down in the YouTube comments, which I don't always get to read, but if you do sign up to my forum on the website, then I do always read comments that are posted there, so that's probably the best place to give me your impressions. Here we have a pretty decent aerial shot of the real Caernarfon Castle. You can see all the towers and structures that are part of the castle in place there, and we're just going to transfer over now. And here is the Fuzzfinger version of Caernarfon Castle, built right here in Planet Coaster, which just about brings us to the end of this video, so I hope you've enjoyed these last 2 episodes. Let me know what you think. If you have liked what I've done, then go ahead and hit that thumbs up button on YouTube, and let me know by posting a comment on the FuzzfingerGaming forum. And you can also sign up, or rather subscribe to the YouTube channel, which will just keep you updated if I put out any further content such as this in the future. And if you want me to go ahead and look at other structures to build, then give me your suggestions. Or do you think I should carry on with this park and actually turn it into a theme park experience, add some rides and further scenery content? Let me know whatever you think I should do next, and I'll certainly bear that in mind. But anyway, thanks ever so much for joining me once again. I've been your host, Fuzzfinger, of course, and I'll see you in the future for more Planet Coaster videos. Take care, guys. Bye for now.